Hi everybody and welcome to the first official Rucap of Drag Race Mexico. First episode, first season, first in history.
Hi
everybody! And welcome to the channel of Gerudito.
¿Y yo qué?
This is another Rucap.
Yes, baby! I love it!
Finally, after years of begging, and pleading, we have Drag Race Mexico. I've been asking them to be for years via social media, and finally it's here. In these recaps, what I will be doing is try to revisit every episode. I will tell you all about the challenges, the looks, the lip syncs, and also every reference that the queens make, so you can know a little bit more about Mexican culture and what these queens were trying to make. And if you have doubts or you need more clarification on any of the references that I'm gonna give, don't be afraid to tell me on the comments so I can look it up and I can tell you more about it. As I always do, I want to remind you guys that this is a safe space of sorts, and I want you guys to be polite. I want you to be kind to one another, and I do not want to, and I will not tolerate any hate towards any of the queens or any of the people regarding this reality show. These are all my opinions. They are subjective, so just be kind to one another on the comments as well, and like and subscribe to this channel. And you can find me at any social media as Gerudito. So let's get to it and let's talk about the entrance looks of the 11 queens that are competing on this first season of Drag Race Mexico for the crown, the scepter, the year supply of Anastasia cosmetics, and of course 550,000 pesos, which is around $30,000. First one in is Pixie. We know her as the master of black and white, and this was no exception. This is a great entrance look for her because we know what kind of drag she does, and it's so three-dimensional. It's so cool. It looks like sort of a super villain. Second to enter the workroom, there's Serena Morena, and Serena brings us this kind of armor, pink and gold, and it gives us sort of a cosplay anime kind of vibe. But what I can say about this look is that it gives us a queen that is really girly, that loves colors, that has like an airy, light personality. She looks like she doesn't take herself too seriously, and that is always amazing to see in a queen. Next, we have Margaret Illa with a pretty elegant kind of look. It looks princessy. My favorite part of this dress is the huge pink bow on the back, and it shows that Margaret is ready for her crown. And also her entrance line, she goes like, does anybody have a phone charger I can borrow? I thought that was so hilarious and that was so amazing, so kudos to her. Then we have Vermelia Noir, who has an aesthetic that is based off of Middle Eastern cultures, and her drag is really complex and intricate. And this time she entered with a green and pink attire, and I thought it was really beautiful. I thought it was funny how she sang and how she started screaming, and she's kooky. She's one of a kind. Regina Voce, which I think it translates in Italian to pure talent, because this queen is a jack of all trades. She's gonna be one of your favorites this season, and even though her look is kind of simple, she has this two-piece on and the boots are stunning, but the look itself is kind of basic. I don't think she needs to prove anything. She's what we call here a perra. She's a bitch. She's a badass bitch. Next up is Miss Vallarta with one of my personal favorite looks, because this is her interpretation of a tourist in Vallarta, which is her hometown, and I just love how she went full camp, full comedy for it. I love the Hawaiian shirt, I love the cargo shirts, the beige cargo shirts, and she entered with a mango enchilado, which is like a mango with chili, with her pink skin tone and the glasses. I thought it was funny. I loved it. And someone who I love and brings a smile to my face every single time is Lady Quero, and this time she brought it with a black dress with a lot of like heart appliques and roses, and she's a really traditional Mexican drag queen, and I love that she's gonna show us every part of the Mexican folklore and culture throughout her journey here. One of the underdogs this season, we have Argenis, and Argenis came in looking sort of like a chameleon, and that is obviously a play on words because she has this chameleon-like ability to change herself and adapt herself to every challenge. She's a great lip syncer, but she's also funny and she has great looks, so I think we're in for a treat with Argenis this season. And isn't that tail with the spikes so gorgeous and so drag? Then there's Cristian Peralta, which gave us some kind of Kylie Minogue kind of fantasy with this lavender mesh suit with a hood. And she entered like with a fierce attitude. And she's a fierce competitor, so everyone better beware of Cristian Peralta because she's not playing around. She's here for that crown. I met her recently and she's one of the loveliest people ever, but she doesn't look like it. She looks like she's cutthroat, and I like that about her. Garavaro is a queen that I wholeheartedly support since a lot of years ago. I actually was in a reality show as a judge, and she was the one who won, so I'm in love with her completely. She loves to take concepts, and this time I asked her if there was some kind of inspiration from the hamburger from McDonald's, and she said yes. So that was so campy to me. I loved it. And it's all because she was making this joke about how she's gonna steal the show, and I love the money bags as props. I love the contrast between this like striped black and white brilliantly tailored suit with the red wig. I thought it was beautiful. What can I say? She's pure genius. And last but not least, we have Matraca. And Matraca is one of my favorites because she always gives us Mexican drag and she gives us tradition, but she can kind of take it and revolutionize it and evolve it into something modern and use great fashion references. And this time she went with this paisley colorful suit and the color pom-poms in her hair. I thought it was young, but it was Mexican. It kind of played into the cholo tradition, and I like how she has this signature thing that she always puts like jewels on her face, and I think that's beautiful. Then we met our joint co-hosts. We have Lolita Banana and Valentina, and I think they make a good couple. I think like Valentina has like this perfect kind of presence, while Lolita, she's all about love and positive vibes, and she's more like outspoken. So I thought they were a good pairing. And as we know from every franchise, the first mini challenge is most of the times a photo shoot. And this time was no exception. We had a sexy piñata photo shoot. So queens had to dress up as a sexy piñata, and they hoisted them up towards the sky, and then they made a fan blue at them, and they got the pit crew to hit them with sticks. Don't you just love how random this show is? There was a great moment of Garavaro showing her balls, literally, and there was also this great moment of Lady Quero just spinning around like a yo-yo. That was funny. But the winner of this mini challenge was Margaret Illa. I personally do not love that photo. I think some of the other girls had stronger pictures like Argenis or maybe Matraca, but I mean, it's fine. She gets 18,000 pesos, which roughly is about $1,000. Anyways, let's go to the Maxi Challenge, which was Mi Tierra or My Land, and the queens had to dress up or wear something representative or of their hometowns from where they're from. First up is Miss Vallarta with a turquoise kind of mint kind of blue look, and this is inspired from a statue in Puerto Vallarta, which is a caballito del mar, which means seahorse. I love how Miss Vallarta is not afraid to like fully paint herself blue. I think that maybe makes her look kind of flat, and if she added more textures, it would look better. But I love her sense of humor, and she'll probably do better in acting challenges. Regina Boche wore a black and silver look inspired by Mexico City, and she had like the angel wings of the Ángel de la Independencia, which is this statue which is gold, but she decided to do it silver. And she also had this bodice, this kind of corset with the Museo Sumaya, which is one of the museums of art that we have here in Mexico. And she also did a skirt with a map of Mexico City that light up with LED lights, which was crazy. So she like put everything on. She's one of those queens who likes more and more and more. I think it was a bit too much, and I thought the fit wasn't right because she was like trying to pull up her skirt all the time. And once she turned around and we saw that the corset was tied up with a shoelace, like red shoelace, I thought that threw me off completely, and I didn't like that. Next, Serena Morena embodied a cockfight from one of the biggest fairs here in Mexico, La Feria de San Marcos de Aguascalientes, and who doesn't love a good cockfight? What? I think her look was okay. I think she could have elevated it more. I thought the wig was weird. It looked helmety. I thought that if the skirt wasn't orangey red, it would have elevated the look a bit more, and it would have read a bit more elegant. And didn't you love how feathers started flying everywhere and how she started like doing this cockfight with her arms? I thought that was amazing. We move on with Cristian Peralta, who was a little jar from Tlaquepaque, un jarrito de Tlaquepaque, and these are really common in Jalisco, where she's from. I was like really stunned. I love that look. I thought it was cute, it was adorable, but once she did the reveal and revealed this gorgeous, stunning vestido de listones, which is this beautiful traditional dress from Jalisco, and she did it with the blue sheer fabric, I thought that elevated the look and made it more contemporary, and I thought it was a great idea. I'm just in love with Cristian Peralta. Okay, next queen, we have Margaretilla, and this is a controversial queen. She's an activist, she's politically driven, she likes to give a message across, and this was no exception. She got Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City, where she's from, and she wore this like gray asphalty street tailored dress, and she paired it off with trash bags and a pigeon, and in the back of the dress it said CDMX huele a caca, or CDMX Mexican City smells like shit. And look, whether you like it or not, Margaretilla has balls. I mean, to do that and to be brave enough to give that message across, I thought it wasn't maybe right for this challenge, but I thought it was hilarious. That is Margaretilla for you, and we're gonna have more of these epic moments surely in the season. Galavaro looked beautiful with this monarch butterfly inspired helmet or headdress. I thought it was like a really cool looking cocoon, and the wig with a pink like rose gold kind of hair. Also the rose gold dress with sheer fabrics, and that is inspired obviously the helmet from Michoacan, from the Mariposa Monarca Sanctuary, and the dress is inspired by the pink limestone cathedrals in the city of Morelia. So this was a really beautiful take on Michoacan, and I liked it. We go ahead with Vermelia Noir, who did a Lele doll. This is a traditional doll from Querétaro, not my favorite. I thought the skirt was beautiful. I thought the headdress with the how's it called, trenzas, braids, with the braids and the ribbons, I thought it was beautiful. I think it wasn't the right choice to put it all in black. She could have done another color, and also the makeup was a choice. The makeup was giving a run for her money to Annabelle and Megan. I mean, that was some creepy doll thing. Then there's Argenis with a hand-painted mantle with Juan Gabriel, who is one of the music legends from Mexico. He was a great singer, he was gay, he was like nationally adored. And then she took the mantle off and showed what is considered to be one of the traditional garments from the Tarahumara community. And I get that she tried to make it sexier, but it looked bulky. I think it looked like a diaper at times. I thought it wasn't as great as it could have been. But one of my top looks of the night was Matraca. Matraca showed this like huge skirt, and this is what I'm talking about when Matraca knows exactly how to meet fashion with tradition. She was representing La Danza del Torito, the dance of the bull or the little bull, and they wear these masks and they wear these chicotes, which is like the kind of whip that she has, and they start dancing around, and she made it look so expensive. I thought I was looking like some kind of Richard Queen creation, one of the best for sure of the night. And snatched to the gods, we have Pixie Pixie with a mariachi inspired dress, which was tailored to perfection. It fit like a glove. This is obviously inspired by Plaza Garibaldi here in Mexico City, and it's a place where there's a lot of mariachi bands, and they all gather around, and you can buy some drinks and they can sing you some songs, and it's a really traditional thing to do here in Mexico City. I thought it was really smart for her to bring this pops of colors with the red roses on the whole look, and I thought this was elegant, it was cool, it was pixie, it was great. And last but not least, we have Lady Quero as a bride from El Istmo de Tehuantepec. She looked like a gorgeous bride. She had all this jewelry from the Istmo de Tehuantepec, which is gold, and it was a really stunning rendition. There's also the Mushe community, which is genderqueer here in Mexico, a really small kind of indigenous people here in Oaxaca, and she paid homage to that as well, and she was really respectful of the traditions, and I thought that was gorgeous. There were some details that I would have changed, like the the length of the skirt because it looked 80s-ish. I think she did a nice job. The winner of the challenge this week was Cristian Peralta, and I couldn't agree more. I thought what she did was beautiful, and I personally would have given it to Matraca because I just love Matraca so much, and that dress was gorgeous. And the bottom queens this week were Miss Vallarta and Vermelia Noir, and I have to agree, those were the worst looks of the episode. And then we had the lip sync, which I wish we didn't have. Because the song was from Belinda, it's En la Oscuridad. Belinda is this great Mexican pop princess. You probably know her from Cheetah Girls 2 or Baywatch, and she's beautiful. Or she has this Netflix show called Welcome to Eden. Well, she's gorgeous, and I love her so much. And this is kind of a hard song to lip sync to, but I think you can make it comedic and it can work. Neither of them knew the lyrics, and this kind of gives probably Valentina PTSD from her season. But I mean, I just don't get it. Maybe you're not the greatest fashion designer or the greatest actor, but you're gonna have to lip sync at some point. And if you do a killer lip sync, you'll probably stay till the end. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a bummer. I was disappointed because the whole episode I thought it was really fun and it was great and it was a breath of fresh air for the franchise. And this was kind of a letdown. It was a Debbie Downer for me. So Valentina and Lolita decide that they cannot send them both home because this is the first episode. I mean, can you do it? What does that say about the Drag Race Mexican franchise if you send two people home the first episode? So they decide to keep them both, and I think that was the right choice because maybe later in the season we can get a double elimination, and I love double eliminations. So hopefully this lights a fire under their asses, and next week they do a lot better than this. Talking about some extra things, I just wanted to say how gorgeous, how beautiful the set is. I mean, the workroom for me is the most beautiful workroom we have in all of the Drag Race franchises, including it has some parts that are inspired by a Mexican architect called Luis Barragan. That is such an amazing treat for us Mexicans. As I said before, I also loved Valentina and Lolita as judges and hosts. I think their style and their personalities will shine more as we go on this season. As a guest judge, we had Cristian Chavez. Cristian Chavez is part of one of the most successful Mexican pop groups in history called Rebelde from the TV show Rebelde. So it was great to have him there. So last but not least, I want to know what you thought about this episode, but I want to ask you a specific question, and that question is, who is your favorite from this cast? Who is the one that you think is gonna take the crown this season? As always, I want to thank you for watching this video. This is really hard for me to talk in English all the time and I get tongue-tied, but I want to thank you all for the beautiful comments you left on the last video. Also, be on the lookout because I will be uploading an interview with a cast I did, some games we played, and with the hosts. So be on the lookout for that. I will not translate it, but I will probably subtitle it for you. And thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, babies.